All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So I've done a video like this, I don't know, maybe like 30, 40 videos back. I've done a screen versus screen between these two and done some comparisons between these. But so recently I did a video talking about the recent update to the Chromatic, and I got a question on the comments asking, so the Chromatic's better, the Analogue's better. I responded to it, but I figured I would do a video a little more in depth on the differences. Now, although I'm going to go over them, it's one of those things I can explain it, but it's not going to be fully understood unless you have the item, unless you have the Chromatic or the Analogue. That really does it for you, and you start to understand. So let's talk about them. So let's go over price real quick, and I have this here, just why not? So you're looking about $220 for an Analogue Pocket. All right. Now the Analogue Pocket, full plastic, great screen. Will play all your Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance carts right out of the box. You don't need any attachments or anything like that. Doesn't take batteries, so it's automatic. It's rechargeable, has a LiPo in it and all that good stuff. But it also does emulation. So you can put your card in it, go back to collecting carts, enjoy it that way. But if you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a specific game, you can also emulate the game on there, which I guess is a nice feature. Now the Chromatic is $200. Has a great screen for Game Boy, Game Boy Color. Okay, it's not as gorgeous as the Analog screen, I will say that, but it is an amazing screen. Now we go down to a Game Boy Color, you're going to be $160 to $200 to build you a Game Boy Color, okay, or buy one already built like this one, where you got new shell, buttons. The only thing that's still original is the board. Everything's been replaced. You even have a brand new IPS screen in it, okay? So whether you build it yourself or you buy it, you're going to be in $160 to $200. And then once again, just Game Boy, Game Boy Color. So that puts it on par here. Now, when it comes to... Oh, my Analogue's dying. Anyway, when it comes to this one, you're looking at... Oh, sorry. No. When it comes to this one, for $200, you are getting a whole metal Game Boy, Game Boy Color, this magnesium shell they have, sapphire screen. I mean, this is very quality. The buttons are quality. Everything about this is quality. Just like the Analog. Everything about the Analog is also quality. So over here, full plastic, and you're still in it, $160, $200. Best screen would be on the Analog. So size comparison, the Analog's definitely bigger. It's bigger, it's wider. It's really solid. You know what I mean? But just like this. Now, in order to get this on par with this, you have to spend an extra $30 to get the power core so you can recharge this. Now, out the box, they give you batteries in the box, modretro labeled AA batteries to run this thing. However, it will eat those batteries up. It'll go through batteries just like this guy. Okay. So now you're about $230 in. You're about $220 in here. But this is all metal with a sapphire screen. This is all plastic with a very, very gorgeous screen. Okay. So let's talk a little about presentation, really quick. Okay. Now I got out my old Analog Pocket box. So your Analog Pocket's going to come in this matte black box. You're going to slide it open. Your Analog will be sitting in there along with a cable. Very simple design. It's supposed to be that kind of boutique handheld, so it's supposed to be like that. Now when it comes to the Chromatic, they went with the comic book full cartoon vibe here. Very nice box also. quick start guide that you can pull up with a QR code. Get your chromatic, and then under it you'll have Tetris and your modretro batteries. So I would say presentation wise, I like the way Chromatic did this. I do like this. I don't like a lot of that over the top shit, but I don't know. I like this design. And they keep it with all their stuff. So if you buy the little power cord, you're also going to get the same type of box. But not that the box is a make or break thing for these handhelds. It's just not. And let's see if I can plug this in and keep it going for the video. I can't see in here. Okay. All right. So let's move these aside. One of the benefits to the Analogue pocket is with the Analogue, and I'm sorry it's going to be a little off, but I'll turn it. Okay, with the Analogue, when it comes to playing carts, you will have a built-in bullshit detector with carts. Okay, so I can put a cart in. Now, the only thing about the Analogue is I don't like how unprotected the cart is. It's sticking way out. It's just there. There's nothing covering it up. But if I hit play cart, of course, error. That's what happens when you have a brand or an older cart going in. Let's try it again. Okay. So right here, you can see how it says Game Boy, Squaresoft, Sunsoft, Region, USA. You know, this, when you see all that, you know the cart's authentic. This is an authentic cart. It's not a reproduction. So, not bad. You get that built in, just like a GB operator, you know what I mean? And if you take a repro that I had to fish out, these are all kind of so warped. Let's see if it'll fit. It just jumps right into it. Anyway, with a repro cart, typically, let's see if it'll, nope, it'll jump right in. All right. Typically with a repro cart, you can get to that screen, but it doesn't say anything. All right, and that'll tell you whether you're using a reproduction cart or not, which is a nice little feature, I guess. All right, let's get to game testing here. Yeah, let's jump. You know what? I want to do something in color, but I realized the only Game Boy Color game I brought was modretro Tetris. So now when it comes to the chromatic, I do like how you still have your function button right there. And you can adjust things right on the fly. You can hit that and see your battery level. And you guys have seen this before. I mean, it's a great screen for Game Boy Color. It's amazing. Yeah, all the colors are nicely saturated. It's a gorgeous screen. When you get one of these, if you're sitting there going back and forth thinking, is it really worth it though? If you're one of those people, and I was one of those people, you're sitting there going, I don't know. Is that really worth the $200 when I have an Analogue or when I have a Game Boy Color with an IPS? Once you buy the chromatic, you start to understand a little more. And this is where I said it's hard to explain this. The chromatic it's definitely for collectors, and it has this whole ecosystem around it where modretro has, you know, their games they're releasing, which they're just mostly re-released games that already exist, like S11. Dragon Hymn wasn't even, you know, this wasn't exclusive to modretro. They did a Game Boy version of this called Dragonborn, and then they pretty much got rid of it, like scrubbed it. You couldn't find it anymore. You can still go find a $5 repro of Dragonborn and play the Game Boy version of it. But then if you looked on Incubate Games, This was posted as an upcoming game for a long time. And then they decided to go with modretro. The modretro released it as one of their launch titles. So you could have still went and got just this off of Incubate Games, or go to modretro and just order the game, because these do work in other handhelds. So where's Tetris? Is it still in there? Okay. I think I still have batteries and shit. So there we go. In the original Game Boy Color. And the original Game Boy Color is more lightweight. It has a little more of a hollow feeling, of course. I mean, and when you get to this point with a Game Boy Color, you are dealing with a do-it-yourself device at this point. Especially if you did all the buttons, the screen, soldered whatever you need to. So, yeah. I will say button feel, like when it comes to the D-pad and A and B buttons, both the Analogue and the Chromatic beat the shit out of one of these when it comes to the buttons. The buttons feel, I guess, cheap in comparison to the Analogue or the Chromatic. I mean, but it has a great screen. But you're going to be in close to what you'd be in for either of these. So let's jump over here. I mean, yeah. And this does feel way more solid than the original Game Boy Color. The Chromatic feels more solid than it. The buttons feel more premium, just like on the Chromatic. So overall feel, I have to say Chromatic and Analogue are definitely winning it here. And it's hard to say, you know, I'm not really pitting it against the original Game Boy Color, because that Game Boy Color, everything's new. It's hard to say something's better than the original one it's based off of, but since that's not the original one it's based off of, more or less, you can say the Chromatic's better, you can say the Analogue's better. Now, where the Analogue is going to differ and give you more value, just right out the box, is emulation. Okay? When it comes to emulation, yeah, this is going to do it. So now, instead of needing a cart, I have a list of Game Boy Color games, Game Boy Advance games, whatever I want. Game Gear. I can go to actual consoles, and then I have Genesis, Master System, NES, Super Nintendo. So yeah, there's more value, if that's what you're looking for. There's more value to the Analogue right out the box. Now, if you have handheld emulators, I would say take it or leave it on this. You know, I mean, it's not a make or break anymore. But the Analogue screen is absolutely beautiful. They killed it with this screen. All the colors are perfect. Everything looks great. Sound quality's there. I mean, it's premium as hell. It's such a good device that other companies tried to kind of copy it. Like, if you look at the Trim UI brick, there's a reason the power button on the side is green. It's a mini Analog Pocket is what they were going for. You could tell by the 3 buttons down here how one of them is the menu button, and then you have same with the Trim UI brick. And you know I'm a sucker for really good music, and here we go with the Chrono Trigger music. Absolutely amazing. I just recently replayed this and beat it, and it never disappoints. You never feel like you wasted your time playing through a game when it comes to Chrono Trigger anyway. But that's not what this is about. So yeah, $220. This is what you're getting. You're getting a handheld emulator with the ability to play carts. I mean, you can even get adapters for it and play Neo Geo Pocket cards and all this other stuff. I mean, all the adapters are wildly expensive. It's so dumb how expensive they are. It's hard to get an Analogue Pocket straight from Analogue because they normally sell out in a heartbeat. Analogue also randomly releases limited edition versions of the Analogue Pocket that are in every other color except white and black. So you'll get these see-through smoky colors, you'll get neon color, whatever. They always do a different edition. They sell them for about the same. However, people buy up 5, 6, 7 of them. They buy out whole editions and then they turn around and sell them for $500, $600, $700 to you. And it's only because Analogue does it that way, where they'll just make a small run of things that allows this to happen to the consumer and allows people to fuck you over on it. Don't ever buy from those people. Don't ever justify them doing that, okay? I know you might really want an Analogue and your only choice is that $500 Analogue. Don't buy that shit. We need those people to lose money. We want them to lose money on those, okay? So now I have no problem if you buy a handheld something, and you make $20 profit, $40, something reasonable. Okay, I have something that's not being made anymore. It's mine. You want it. I get it. I have no problem making a little bit of profit. But going, 3, 4 times the retail price just to rake someone over the coals, that's some bullshit. All right. So we're going to talk less about the regular Game Boy now. I only had that in here for kind of a comparison issue. So between these two, when you get the Analogue Pocket, when you get the Chromatic, both of them out the box are very, very premium devices. Okay? They feel premium. They look premium. This is that premium plastic. This is that premium magnesium alloy shell. This has the sapphire lens on it. I mean, and today for $200, you're not going to get the sapphire lens. You're going to get Gorilla Glass, which is fine. It's okay. It's not a big loss. I don't feel like the sapphire lens is worth the extra $100. So for those of you saying, well, it's $300 for that exact one now. Yeah, it is, except for I have the most bought one on the planet, the Game Boy or the GameStop edition. You can still get this first edition Sapphire at certain GameStops. And talking about reselling like this, you can go buy that shit right now, turn around, sell it for $350 because it's a first edition with a sapphire lens. I mean, it's or a little sapphire screen on it, whatever you want to call it, the glass. So you could go turn around, make a profit right now. Go to your GameStop, pick this one up as long as it says first edition and sapphire. Keep it in the box. You turn around, sell it, make you a little tiny profit. Okay. Just don't sell it for $600, $700. It's not going to sell for that. All right. So both of them premium. Both of them feel premium. I can see the price in both of these. I can see the $200 price tag for both of these. All right. And I was excited about the Analogue Pocket. When I got the Analogue Pocket, I played the hell out of it. I still randomly bring this thing with me. It's a great device. It changed a lot in this landscape when this came out. This gave birth to things like the Trim UI brick because it was a really great screen. And guess what? It didn't have to run PS2 and it didn't have to run GameCube for it to be a seller. It only went up so high and people bought the shit out of it. Companies need to realize that $200 price point doesn't mean it has to have a fucking Snapdragon in it. You can make stuff like this with features like being able to use an actual cart, and we'll buy it. Then this is more of towards like the RG slide. Man, you could have put an H700 in that. You could have made it smaller because it didn't need active cooling now. You could have, an L and R button instead of L2, R2. Like, you can make stuff and I've been over this, you guys know. You can make stuff aimed at a certain console or system, and we're going to buy it. Not everything has to run GameCube and PS2. Just because the technology or this hobby is advanced to the point of we're able to emulate PS3, PS4, whatever, doesn't mean that's the only thing you release. And I'm not saying that is the only thing they're releasing. This is just my current gripe, bitch, whatever about this. So, anyway, with the Analogue, yeah, it's premium. It's a good collector's item. There's a bunch of stuff out there from like Etsy. You can get like these stickers. Like mine has the Metal Gear Solid setup on it, which I love. Love the look of that. But yeah, it's a great collector item, and you can display it. It'll look great, and you can play tons of games on it. Okay, but here's the problem. For those of you out there that will get a handheld and realize it has 60,000, 80,000 games, it might overwhelm you, and you can't even pick a game no more. Okay? That's where this starts coming into play, because you are limited to Game Boy, Game Boy Color. Yes, with the update, you can stick a flash cart in it and play the entire library of Game Boy, Game Boy Color. But that's still just Game Boy, Game Boy Color. Okay? You are very limited at this point. And when it comes to a system, I promise you, this thing will make you play through specific games because you have no reason to jump and go to a different one. And this flash cart being the only one I found that works so far, you have to load up one game and play it. And once you remove it, you're starting over. There's no save states, nothing like that. So even though this is a flash cart with tons on it, whatever game I select to load up, this models will say that on the sticker because it's staying that until I beat it. And there you go. Yeah, that's what you get with this. You start getting into that ecosystem of just Game Boy, Game Boy Color. This right here is for those who want to relive this release. Okay? You want to relive that. You want to have that in 2025 where you're looking and you're watching for new games to come out for this and you're excited to play them on this. This is what the Chromatic is doing. Okay? It's not just the handheld. It's not the features on the handheld. It's its own environment. Its own ecosystem going on. Okay? And as a collector and a lover of retro games, that's what I realized when I got the Chromatic and opened it and started getting into it, is I just entered this whole different level when it comes to handhelds. Okay? I'm always watching for Chromatic emails. I want to see the next games that are coming out for it. What are they going to re-release? They did it right with the games. You get the box and a book, and they even added a little charm to it to up it. I mean, I don't really care about the charms. They're cool, but I'm not hooking a charm to my Chromatic and let that scratch the shit out of the shell. Fuck all that noise. They're just cool. But I love having the little box and the book. The booklet coming with the game now, that's crazy. I love that. I love reliving those moments, okay? And we're getting it again thanks to this device. All right, so there's a whole different level of value to the Chromatic. These are not the same when it comes to what kind of value you're getting. Here, great screen, emulation, plus playing cards. You get a bunch, all kinds of games. More limited on games, but you're getting into this collector kind of exclusive environment with the Chromatic. All right, you're getting the Chromatic. You're excited for these, and yeah, these can play on the Analogue. You just seen that. They can play on your Game Boy Color, but something about having the Chromatic games played on the Chromatic itself, it's incredible. It's something you're not going to fully understand until you get into it. So let's hop over to the websites. Let's show off prices and things. I'm going to move my camera. All right, here we go. Analogue Pocket. So there you go, $219. The white one looks like it is in stock. All right. Then you got a dock for $100, and here's your adapter sets for another $100. $16 link cable, Game Gear, look, $30 per adapter. And then you get some of their older bullshit. So, and then of course they've been working on the Analogue 3D for $250. What feels like forever. This almost feels like it's never going to come out. Let's jump over to the Chromatic. $200. Okay. Now, like I said, if you want a sapphire screen, it's now $300. But the Gorilla Glass is perfectly fine. And you don't get the little writing right there. It says sapphire. So, and these are all second editions. So, and you get these colors: black, blue, green, orange, yellow, pink. I mean, if this was analog, these two would be the only two you're ever able to buy. Maybe one will be in stock now and again, and these would have sold out in the blink of an eye, just like the first run of the Chromatic really sold out fast. But that's why they're doing this. It's a whole second launch. These have been shipping now for a week, and none of them are sold out. I don't know if any of them are sold out for Sapphire. Let me look. Nope. So there's less of a chance you're going to see these for $600-700 for some asshole out there that wanted to buy out the whole edition. Couldn't do it. Then you jump over here. Boom. You get the game section. Build your own bundle. 6 games, $200. I mean, we have some games that are just coming back. They're just being, re-released for this. There's already a Game Boy version out there. And then some games were getting created for this. And I just ordered Wicked Plague. That looks amazing. I can't wait to get that in. I'm going to show that out. There'll be a whole video about Wicked Plague. Really, really excited to play Wicked Plague, everybody. So, and here you go. These are all the games with the Chromatic. Each one of these games will come in a little box. Each one of these games will have a booklet. I can tell you right now, this game's booklet is necessary. Okay? There's a part in this game where you gotta, translate a language, and the book has the key in it. I love that. And like I said, everyone comes with this little itty bitty charm. A lot of people love the charms. If you look at these on eBay, Mercari, whatever, people will sell this game brand new without the charm. They bought it for the charm, and then you can get the game for $10 cheaper if you don't want the charm. But you're buying into a whole different world, a whole different ecosystem with the Chromatic. It's amazing. Also, they started this point system where you get a point per dollar or whatever. And then with those points, you can get up to 20% off on a Chromatic. I mean, you can get a brand new Chromatic for $160. Also, they're doing their own Nintendo 64 for $200. They've already said it's $200. And this will probably come out faster than Analogue, because Analogue just doesn't do anything fast. And then you jump over to accessories. Here's what I was talking about. $30 for the power core to put it on the same level-ish of the Analogue Pocket, where it's just rechargeable and you don't need batteries. $15 link cable. $15 mod kit, so you can have different color buttons, D-pads, whatever. That's a great price. However, those have been, yeah. They haven't been shipping those because they sold out, and they're having trouble keeping up with orders of this. That's how many Chromatics are out there, and everybody wants this mod kit. Because realistically, I want the green or blue Chromatic also, but I don't like the color buttons on the green Chromatic. And then when you get your Chromatic, you can come here for $50 or use some retro headset to color match your handheld. Of course, to get the GameStop color one, you have to go to GameStop. It does exist. It's at GameStop, same price. And then for the cloud one, I haven't seen a pair of Porta Pros for those yet. Anyway, so yeah, they're doing a point system, so make sure you have an account if you're going to buy. If you purchase, 7 days after your purchase, you'll get your points. It's a great little ecosystem they've built here for this. I love coming here and looking at the games and getting excited and checking out the videos. I mean, I'm super excited about Wicked Plague. I'm really excited about Wicked Plague. I mean, and it's almost sickening right now, because everybody at my work is Battlefield 6, Battlefield 6, Battlefield 6. And they were like, hey, man, you going to play Battlefield 6 with us? What game are you getting ready to play? What are you looking into? And I was like, I'm super excited to play Wicked Plague on the Chromatic. Yeah, whole different thing here, guys. All right. Now, if you want a great screen, don't care about carts, I'm just adding this in. Great screen, don't care about carts, want your little mini analog pocket style handheld, and I'm all about saving that money, guys. Trim UI brick it up. Okay? Here's your little green button on the side, just on the opposite side like the Analog Pocket has. The Trim UI brick was absolutely set as an Analog Pocket clone. Okay, I don't give a shit how you feel or what you say. I mean, look at the buttons. Look at the buttons. You get your 3 buttons down here, your start, select, and menu button. Doesn't matter how you feel about it, that's what it is. They made the Trim UI brick as a tiny little Analog Pocket clone. The Trim UI brick has a great screen on it. Okay, it's a beautiful screen for its price. It really is. And you guys can go back and look at my videos on it, where I call it a faux LED screen, a fake OLED. It is great. Okay, and instead of spending $200 on any of these, you're spending $60 and getting this little solid plastic guy. And you're getting emulation on it. You're not going to be able to play carts, of course, because it's an all of you already know this, right? Most of you do. But you're going to spend $60 on this. You're going to get all the emulation you want. It's going to be a hell of a lot smaller than these devices. It'll be very portable. None of these devices have analog sticks, which is great. That's a good choice in all this. And this is tried and true. I mean, this has been tested and tested and tested and tested, and it still remains one of the best handhelds for purchase right now. Now, let's talk about you want this, okay? You want emulation, you want quality, you want premium, but you want it in metal, and you don't want to wait or hunt down a $600 metal analog. But you want that metal handheld because you're into that. You like collecting that. Whoop, right here. Trim UI brick hammer. I got one of these on the way. Now, we've kind of crossed them. We got a chromatic pocket, an analog-matic, except none of them play games, like carts. So you're pretty much getting the metal analog pocket in a mini version for a hell of a lot cheaper than it was as an analog. Full emulation, metal, $100, still the same screen, same internal, same everything, but less than half the price. So, and I only brought up the Trim UI brick for those of you watching this going, I don't have $200 to spend on an analog. I don't have $200 to spend on a chromatic, or have the know-how or will or want to go buy an updated, refurbished Game Boy Color. I want something small and portable with some of those features. That's the Trim UI brick for you. Okay? Completely made as a clone to the analog. Full emulation. I have a Trim UI brick. I have a brick hammer on the way. It's a handheld I recommend. And if you don't give a shit about playing PS2 and GameCube on the go, this is the handheld to go for. Okay? So let's break it down. Both of these are very, very worth the $200 price tags. Okay? I love both these handhelds. Okay? Very, very much. They're some of my favorites in existence. Hate the way Analogue does business. I know they don't give a shit. They just want to make their money. Feels like Analogue ignores the people a little bit. Don't really care. With this, it feels like they've really just been sitting on it because they don't feel like anybody else is going to come close to them or do the same thing they're doing. So they can take their sweet-ass time with this. But modretro just really, they're going to stick it to you with that one, guys. But as for the Analog Pocket, you will not be disappointed spending $220 on the Analog Pocket. You will not be disappointed spending $200 on the Chromatic. Okay? Both of these are premium. Both of them are for the diehards out there. Both of them are for collectors. But if you want to relive the experience of the Game Boy Color coming out, being excited about new games for that system, and you want to have the exact system matched up with it, and you want to do that whole authentic thing, the Chromatic's the way to go. Okay? Alright guys, I know this video was a bunch of opinion, and that's pretty much what my channel is. But I figured I would help that person out that was asking. They seemed like they were unsure. And I felt like this needed a video for those that right now are stuck between Analog Pocket or Chromatic. Which do I buy? Hopefully this helps you. Now, if you have handheld emulators, if you have Anbernics and you have Retroids and Pal Kitties and you have all that stuff, okay? I feel like you should go for the Chromatic. If you don't have a bunch of handheld emulators lying around, you should probably go with the Analogue, okay? Hopefully I've helped you make your decision. If you have any questions, if there's something I didn't cover about either of these, please feel free to ask. When you guys ask in the comments, if I say I'll do a video or help you or I'll look into it when I get a chance, it's probably because I wasn't around my office or my house and I didn't have anything on me to look into what you're asking. But I work a very demanding job. I have a family to take care of when I get home. So if I say I'm going to do something for you and I don't, remind me. Hit the comments again. Say, hey, man, you ever get around to this? And I will do my best to remember and do whatever I can for you guys. All right. So let's wrap this up here. Hopefully we've got some stuff showing up this week. I would like for some of the stuff to show up this week. That way I could put out some newer videos. I'm really, really waiting on Wicked Plague, guys. I'm super excited to play Wicked Plague. The sponsor of my channel, my brother, as you guys know, I've ordered him a Chromatic. I did sell off my RG slide to pay for his Chromatic. I sold my RG slide to a viewer. He messages me all the time. Great guy. Talk all the time about it. He's having a blast with the slide. He is very happy because I set it all up for him, and he couldn't be happier. Me and him we were talking this morning. So, you know, CW, if you're out there, man, much love. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of the Legion. Yeah, and just hit me up, man. You know, we keep bullshitting. I love it. Just like other people on here like Vegan. We talk all the time on here. They're great viewers. They're the best community, best people I could ask for to join my community. So yeah, anyway, got that coming for the sponsor of the channel. Felt like doing something really nice for him for his birthday. He has an amazing handheld collection. I also ordered Wicked Plague, like I said, and I added a link cable because me and the sponsor of this channel, we are so going to kick it and link cable some Chromatic games and really kick it old school. So will that be on a video? Hell no. That's just me and him kicking it. So that's what we do. And that's what you should do. All right, guys. Ending it now. I will see you in the next episode.